You know, I don't know if you can see this, but can you see the 2020 quarter? It's got a picture of a bat on it. Now that is really strange. I think you can see it. I'll try to put a picture. But that is really strange. You know, this is 2020, and there's a bat on the quarter. And it's coronavirus. And they say the coronavirus come from a bat. Try to get that glare out of my glasses. So they are it's like you can look at this one of two ways. You know, it's coincidence or all this is really planned. It's kind of weird. Like right now there's a shortage of change, and it could be a shortage of change because it has the bat on the quarter and people start waking up. You know, I believe the virus is probably serious, but there's probably a hidden agenda behind it. You know, we'll find out sooner or later. But they're getting rid of quarters, or you know, you can't get change at from certain stores now, and they say it's a national shortage. You know, you can't get dollars, so if you wanted to, really, they could come up with these little baggies, sanitized baggies, and give you change, but they're gonna make everything electronic, probably digital currency. So eventually, they're gonna put the change probably gonna be in your forehead or on your hand, and that'll be the only way you can buy or sell. That kind of reminds me of something else. But I was just looking at some of the stuff I've been reading. China and Russia were talking about starting their own currency, getting away from where the U.S. wouldn't have the power to maybe influence their economy, so they would just start their own currency and not be affected by the U.S. embargoes and everything. There's a lot of big key players that's in this. You know, it's a virus. They're saying it's not as bad as some people, but there's no test. A lot of people are getting it, but you don't know if they really got it. People that got it are tested negative. People that got it don't have it are testing positive. It's crazy. So nobody knows what they're doing. And a friend of mine tried to go to they were hurting really bad. So they went to one of these urgent treatment care places. Usually, you know, if you got a cold or flu. And they waited in there and they just said, oh, there's nothing we can do for you. They sent her to the hospital, and there's a big tent in front of the hospital. And she talked to somebody at the hospital, and they'd been waiting there since 11 o'clock in the morning. And this is like 7 o'clock at night. So she wanted to go, but she didn't want to wait 12 hours at the hospital. I mean, it's like all the doctors are on vacation, or they just don't care anymore because they're the virus, you know, or whatever. I don't know, but it's just nobody cares. You know, so if you're sick, you're just up the creek without a paddle. So, you know, stay safe. You know, social distancing. Somebody sneeze, leave the room. You know, do what you got to do. Follow all these guidelines because you never know. You know, we're either all gonna have it, or some people are not gonna get it. But you know, I'd rather not find that out. So, but the thing about the change is really strange. You know, but you seen the bat. The bat is on the 2020 quarter, which is something else. So why did they put a bat on it before the coronavirus come out? Or maybe They heard about it, you know, and they thought it'd be a big joke because you know how some people can kind of do things on their job. The guys used to make license plates and they put weird sayings. And then people be like, what in the world does that mean? But you know, the guys that made the license plates knew. So we got to be careful. You got to think, do your research, stay protected, try to follow the rules, but you know, keep your eyes open because you never know. You know, just kind of keep your head down. Don't get mad. Don't cause confrontations because some people think it's the end of the world. So their fuses are already lit before you talk to them. So, you know, just be cool and okay. And then, you know, they're going to run into somebody else who's probably a lit fuse and it'd be better not to be around. But, you know, just think about it. Money, you know, cash currency. There's probably a big underground of money that kind of floats. I guess they used to call it like the black market. I remember hearing about the black market when I was in high school in Russia, where people were getting Levi jeans and all cheaper than they could get them from the store. You know, they didn't like that because that was like a second economy, but the government wasn't getting any benefit of it. And we have kind of a second economy. We have yard sales and eBay and the other one, Amazon. A lot of sellers now, they're starting to pay taxes on what they sell. But, you know, there's still like a lot of stuff that people are just selling or trading. And maybe they're wanting to, if you do all cash sales, then it, you know, I always say follow the money, you know, so you can always see where it goes. But, you know, you can only tax things so much. So once you tax things to death and you spend it, there's no more money. So you're never going to solve the problem if you keep taxing things without really analyzing what you're taxing. With the things that are going on now, this is July the 28th, 2020. This is a crazy idea. So I always figured, you know, aliens would come around, or people would say to aliens, and all of a sudden you'd have UFOs flying around, and it would scare people, and that's how they would kind of control people. You know, kind of mass hysteria, because War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells, they just had a radio station and started talking about it, and people flipped out. They thought, this is real. And that was just a radio station. And a lot of people think TV's real. They get all mad if a character in TV's does something, and that guy's not like that at all. So people, the big movers behind the scenes are using a lot of things right now to probably sway people's opinions. So just be careful, you know, stick to your values. Watch out what all this stuff is, and kind of, you know, stay true. Stay close to family, you know, if you can, and just be safe. You know, you got quarters with bats on them. I mean, what's the next quarter going to be? Like a hand with a thing on it? But, you know, I was just sitting here thinking, so that's why I'm here where I'm at. And I was like, what about that? I wonder if I even got one of those quarters. So I looked through some change that you can't spend anymore, or you had to get exact change. So now everything's going credit card or debit card. And I was just thinking, wow, that is crazy. You know, a bat on this little bitty quarter. You know, 2020. And a lot of times they'll put different things on there during the year. Oh, it's upside down. But you can see it. You see this bat. If I can get the reflection right. See? The bat. 2020 quarter. And the coronavirus, they say, come from a bat. You know? But just think. Plus, you know, if it was, say the virus was man-made, and they did this thing, you've heard of chemtrails. So they put all these chemicals in the chemtrails to, supposedly they're supposed to keep the sun from heating up the earth. And these chemicals, they just spreading around with the airplanes, they could be spreading the coronavirus. So some people are getting this stuff and they've never even been around people, or they were real careful. So the coronavirus could be spread by the chemtrails, and your food, everything could be tainted to make you more susceptible than coming down with something. So, you know, I mean, that's just an idea. It's crazy, you know, but it all might be just another thing. A lot of people say, you know, 2021 comes around and we're going to reset like Jumanji or something, because it's like, no, it's been a crazy year. So, you know, just try to, a lot of people right now are getting unemployment, and I think it's the $600 a week is fixing to end, so people gonna be a little bit desperate. Just, you know, try to save some of that money, because they made a lot of money. You know, a lot of people quit their jobs just to get unemployment. No, but just think, there's been a lot of distractions with all kind of things going on. You know, and then there's food shortages, toilet paper shortages, coin shortages, with the bats. You know, they won't even take you. Well, we can't change that. We're taking all the bats and saving them, so we can't give you the bats. Sorry. You know, and then people are fussing about it, say that's deception. So then the stores are giving it back. And then I was talking to a guy the other night. He called me over there, and he said, how come, you know, if the virus is so bad, which, you know, it is for people that get it, or, you know, anything you get now, they say it's the virus. But if it's so bad, how come when people discard their masks and just throw them all over the parking lot, y'all don't pick them up and have them in a big old biohazard container? And I was like, I don't know. It's a good question. You know, so it's just a lot of things that just don't make sense. You know, if it stays active for 14 days, then there's no way you're gonna be able to possibly not get exposed unless you're living by yourself. Everything comes to you. You go through some kind of process and desanitize it. But then you got to desanitize that. I mean, you're wearing a mask and then you touch your eye, boom, you got it. I mean, there's no way you're going to be 100% unless you're like in a stage 4 hazmat suit. The ones they kind of wear with a self-contained air when they're dealing with E. coli. I mean, not E. coli, but that virus that eats you alive in like 12 hours that they were saying was coming over next. You know, you just bleed out from everywhere. So that's pretty bad. And this virus, they say can get you, but some people test positive, and how long are you contagious? Nobody knows. You're negative, but other people test positive for months. and they're negative, or they might have been negative, and well, they tested positive, so they got to stay positive. It's crazy. But one thing that could explain that, why the virus is not affecting people, it is there's different strands of it. So there's like the bad strand you get, and it's gonna whip up on you, and then you might get another strand that's not as bad. And then I was reading some people have like T cells that recognize an infection, and sometimes it can their T cells will work better fighting the virus. But I was just thinking about coins and the shortage and all this stuff going on today, and I'm in the process of having to move, so I got to move. I don't really have a lot of time, and my mind was just wandering. So I just wanted to share that. If you like hear my rambles on, or like to hear more rambles on, sometime I like to do stuff outside too. If you're new here, subscribe, leave a like, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. We'll talk to you later.